I love stuffed pasta shells. They're perfect for any elegant holiday celebration or birthday or anytime you want to have a fancy dinner, and they're so simple to put together, and you can practically stuff them with anything. So let me show you how easy it is to put together. Pronto? Allora andiamo a cucinare. All right, so to get started, we want to get a pot of water, salted water, boiling. We want to then take our the pasta shells that we're going to use and just place them in the water, give them a quick stir. And I like to turn the water off, the heat, so that it's not boiling anymore, because that boiling kind of breaks up the shells. So I just let it sit and cook according to the directions on the box. So these cooked for 9 minutes. I drained them and then I placed them on this cookie sheet so that they could cool. And I'm just gonna set them aside. And so while they're cooking, we can go ahead and get our filling ready. So to my bowl, I have 2 pounds of ricotta cheese. I like the whole milk. That's just what I like, but if you want to use partly skimmed or whatever, that's totally fine. To that, I'm gonna add about 2/3 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna add about 4 ounces of shredded mozzarella. Then to that, I wanna add 2 eggs. All right, and then we're just going to mix all of this up until everything is just evenly incorporated. Now, I'm not going to add any salt in here because the Parmesan cheese is really salty, and we're going to have it in our sauce and all that as well, so it should be fine. All right, and now to that, I want to add a little bit of color, so I'm going to add a little bit of chopped parsley. Okay, that is perfect. Okay, so now we can just set this aside. And we're gonna get our sauce ready. Now, there's a couple different things that you can do with the sauce. You can either make your own sauce, you can buy store-bought sauce. I am just gonna use this strained tomato sauce. And to that, what I like to do, because I don't wanna mess up another container, is I just take my spices. And my spices consist of garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, salt, and pepper. And so to that, I'm just gonna add it to this jar. Just put the cap on, and then I just kind of shake all the spices up in here, and it's totally fine. All right, so now our sauce is all mixed up with all the spices. So we have a 9x13 baking dish. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of sauce on the bottom, probably about, I don't know, about a cup's worth. And I'm just gonna kind of shake it around to evenly distribute all the sauce. And I have a scoop. It's actually a number 25 scoop. It's probably about, I don't know, 2 tablespoons worth of filling. But the more you make this, you'll know exactly how much to fill it with. So I'm just filling each one of these shells, and I'm trying to use my scoop so that it's evenly distributed so they all have the same amount. And then I'm just going to place them in my baking dish here. And I will just continue to do this until all of the shells are filled, or until I run out of ricotta cheese filling. So now that all of our shells are filled, what I like to do is I like to add just a little bit of sauce on top of each one. So you can, if you are very good at pouring, you can just pour a little bit, or you can use a spoon and just spoon a little bit on each one. I just don't want like a whole bunch on there. I don't want to take away from the look of the stuffed shell, and sometimes if you pour too much sauce on it, it just kind of overpowers it. Our oven is preheated at 350 degrees, and I am going to cover this with foil and let it cook for about 40 minutes or until the sauce is all bubbly on the side. And then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to top it with some other toppings, and I'll show you what that looks like when we get to that point. Okay, so they came out of the oven. They are nice and bubbly. We can just see the steam. And so now at this point, what I want to do is I want to take some of the mozzarella cheese and just sprinkle it on top. And again, you can add however much or as little as you want, but I don't want a lot. I'm just going to add a little bit. So this is about half a cup. Okay, and I'm going to put it back in the oven just long enough for the cheese to melt, and then I'll show you how we finish it on after this comes out again for the second time. So while that's in the oven, I just want to let you know that I had some stuffed shells that were left over. There was about 5 of them, and of course I couldn't fit them on that, and it was only 5, and so it's too little to put in another pan. Plus I did have some noodles left over. So what I did is I just chopped up those noodles with the ricotta cheese and whatever sauce was left over. I added some more Parmesan cheese, some mozzarella, and I just put it in here. And I actually had a little bit of chicken left over from the other night that I threw in here as well. And so I'm just going to take this foil and cover this up. And so I've already got dinner ready for tomorrow or maybe next week. And if you're going to do it next week, freeze it. Just put some saran wrap first, or some plastic wrap, and then put your foil and then put it in the freezer, so that'll help. But remember to take that plastic wrap off when you put it in the freezer. But now you've got another dinner that's perfect, and you've used up your leftovers, if you happen to have leftovers. So that's something that you can do with your leftovers. So this is just going to be another dinner, and it's going to save me some time. Anyway, that should only take about 5 minutes to melt that extra cheese, and then we're going to finish it off. So hold tight. So as you can see, the cheese is all melted and it's nice and golden brown. And so now I'm just going to add parsley to this. And this is something that I like to add parsley at the end. I don't like to add it when it's baking, because I find that it gets really bitter, and it just gives a nice fresh color, and it just lightens it all up. So now at this point, we just want to go ahead and serve this. And you can either serve this as your main meal, it can be an appetizer, it can be served with something. So you know, however you want to do it is totally fine, but it's really elegant, and it didn't take a lot of effort to make, and your family's gonna love it. And anyway, I hope you guys give this one a try, and until next time, I'm Chef Lucia, and I'll see ya. Ciao.